you doing today?
I'm good. How are you, John?
I'm a little tired, but I'm good. In all, the funny story about this interview is I am located in Puerto Rico, so there's an hour difference. So I was already in Zoom at 2 o'clock my time.
Don't
So
worry. Time in this moment. We came from Italy to New York yesterday. I'm not even sure under which time I'm functioning, but here we are.
I completely understand. The thing is that when I got in the meeting, I was like, it's 2 o'clock, it's 2010. Why is nobody in the meeting already? When I'm like, wait, let me go back to the email. And I saw it said EST. I'm like, oh no, it's at 3. I put my son to take his nap at 1:30. So I'm like, I hope he does not wake up while I'm talking to you.
Okay, well, let's do it. Let's do it fast.
It's okay. I don't mind if he comes in. He
Oh, me
has
neither.
appeared. He has appeared in other interviews. It's been a great interaction. But
I love
uh,
kids.
me too. I love kids as well.
I also want to strangle them, but it's part of it.
Yeah,
It might be.
is
The others, no. The others, I'm fine. My own, at times they kind of like,
yeah, I completely agree.
I love you to pieces.
Now, I wanted to start off with Zoe is a very interesting film. I really enjoyed it. Uh being
Thank you.
being the fact that for at least for me, how I saw when I finished the film, I was like, this film is those moments when somebody sits down and looks at I don't know, the sky or the water, and is asked, how would my life be in if I took certain different decisions? And Zoe brings up like a kind of an answer, but in this case is, what would life be if things were different in different perspectives, and how I could move forward as a person. And coming up with that, what inspired you to write this film?
Well, funny you say that because I lived in New York for about 12 years and we moved to Italy 4 years ago. And I didn't come to New York for 4 years. Last night we got here and I was looking at the city and I'm like, wow, it feels like 30 years ago I was here. I feel like I think we all feel that we live so many different lives in our own life, right? So many different chapters. Sometimes they don't even make sense with each other. You're like, what was that? What happened to me or what am I doing? So I think part is that, and part is that in my own experience, I was living in Italy and I had my acting career. I had, a good life, but I wasn't happy. And that's when, I took two luggages and I moved to New York with my artist visa in my pocket. And it's really that, sometimes we are so fearful in trying for a dream, trying for something to change. And I love the taking action. I'm not a procrastinator at all. Maybe I make messes, but I take action.
Mhm.
So I really wanted to have that for Zoe too. Like, go through the fear. Go through the fear, even if something scares you, there's something there that needs to be explored. You need to learn that. And that was also something that we wanted to, Dean, who's the co-director and editor and cinematographer of this movie, we wanted to explore as well in terms, of like self-discovery. And it's interesting, this thing that you said, kind of like sliding doors, right? And it's a slightly different perspective because for me, I guess we thought about it, didn't I? We talked also about that movie, but it's true, sometimes you wonder, what
Mhm.
if I would have done that, or and the consequences of it. And it's for sure something that I experienced in my own personal life that I wanted to give to the character as well.
And how challenging was it to, being the director, as well being the writer of the story of this film, and as well being the star. How could you work all those things together?
Well,
Obviously, I imagine that the writing part you already had it, so that's fine.
that's
Um,
safe, right?
yeah, but I know that in certain films there's certain moments when you have like a co-director, when you have other cast members that they go and say like, hey, how about this suggestion for the scene, and there's minor like changes. But how do you work all those three things for this film?
Well, as you said, the writing part, it's before. And Dean and I are very meticulous. So we workshop any script that we develop. We develop it a lot, we workshop it, we table read it. So once we decide to make that project, it's ready. Then, of course, the other actors come in, but we rehearse. So everything is, once we are on set, everything is rehearsed. Everything, has been discussed. If something comes in the moment on the set, of course, we embrace it. But we are all on the same team, and we all agreed on certain things. So that one is done. And then I have this amazing partner, artistic partner, which is Dean, and co-directing together, which actually we didn't start like that. Dean was supposed to be the only director, but then we were doing this project so much hands-on all together that at one point he looked at me, I was like, this is a co-direction. We did this together, like he was for sure, he has a keen eye. He was also the cinematographer. So in terms, of shots and in terms of composition, me being an actor inside, probably I was dealing more with the actors and the acting part, but both aspects, we discussed them with each other, and every day before the shooting. So I guess the short of it is that I think that on paper it seems more scary and more overwhelming. But I don't know if it was because it was a blast project, but it was very natural and organic, all of it. It didn't feel like, oh my gosh, how am I gonna, juggle all this?
I gotta say, I imagine being on set, or if I were like part of like the crew, I think that for what you're telling me, you all had a blast. Now, my other question that got me a lot of like curiosity, in the film, you speak in Italian, then you
Yep.
speak it's a type of Spanish because you are
Yeah.
in Ibiza, and
Yeah.
then you have the British accent talking English. So my question is, do you the was that voiceover, or was that all you? That
Oh,
was
mama here. Yes. No,
Oh,
it was all
amazing.
me. It was all me. I love languages. I love humans. I love their story. That's what I always adored about New York, that you go around and I look at people and I imagine what life they have, what is their family or their house or their job, what they're dealing with. And I think about all the different languages and what they bring with it. So it was very important for me, and I never even thought to dub it or having someone else. The only language that I don't speak is Spanish.
Okay.
So, but I relied a lot on my actors, on our actors too, who helped me because we liked also to do some improv on scenes. But I was always like, guys, don't put me in an uncomfortable position that I don't know what to say because I don't have the vocabulary. So it was kind of like I got certain things, and then sometimes like, how's the accent? Because of course she wasn't supposed to be perfect because she's embodying the life of someone else. So it wasn't like the perfect French, the perfect British, the perfect. But and I think also the beauty of doing that is that you see how a different language also clicks a different personality as
Yeah.
well, which I don't know, I imagine you're bilingual.
Yes, I am.
And so I feel that I'm bilingual as well because I don't know anymore if I dream in English or in Italian, but I speak with my son in Italian. But when
Okay.
I get mad, I switched to the English. I'm like, "Ugh," because otherwise he doesn't listen to me. He's like, oh, that's mama's language, the Italian. So I go like, and he's like, okay, I'm in trouble. Better, you know. So I think that's part of it as well.
I completely understand that because myself and my wife, we speak to our son in Spanish, but he knows both languages, so he's like speaking English and Spanish. But when mama gets mad, she speaks like high tone Spanish, and then when I get mad, I start speaking high tone English. So he's like, he knows.
Like, there's something with that high tone that I better figure it out.
I think that one of my favorite scenes of Zoe is when she wakes up in Ibiza and Pedro calls her, and she discovers this word that at least here in I know that in Ibiza it has like a different meaning, but here in Puerto Rico it has like a
Stronger
stronger
meaning.
meaning. Yeah. So when when your character Zoe discovers joder
Hmm.
in the call and she just repeatedly said it, I was just mad laughing because I was like in my mind, I'm like, I hope she knows what that means, but still it was a great I think that that whole scene, that whole story in Ibiza, I think that was my most favorite story from the film. Obviously the main storyline, perfect, I loved it, but I think that when Zoe was in Ibiza was like a very important like point for her character. She noticed and learned so much of herself and how certain things connect to her actual life in Italy. In that, I wanted to ask, were there any situations or issues that you had while filming, being the fact that you film in different locations?
In Ibiza, you say?
No, in general, like in the whole film.
Well, for example, Ibiza was I think, one of the hardest ones, and Dean
Okay.
will tell you, because so we shot Ibiza in October, which is still pretty warm over there, but storms start happening. So the way we did it, we shot the entire movie in a year. So we would do one location, prep it for 2, 3 months, then go shoot it. Do like it was all prep, but we will see the locations in person too, a couple of days. Then we did some B-roll, and then we will shoot and have two pickup days just in case, right? And so we go and we see all the locations that we already chose. And I remember this one in particular. I don't know if you remember in the movie, which is one also of my favorite scenes, in the fishermen huts.
Yes.
And it was just gorgeous. That day was beautiful. And the water was just calm and nice. And the sun it was like fantastic. And then I was like, oh, let's do it here, like this, like that. Okay, great. Cut to 4 days later, we go to shoot, and the day before there was a huge storm. We go there, it's a disaster, like waves smashing left and right, and we're like, "Oh my gosh, how are we gonna do this?" Well, we tried. Then a wave went on the equipment, and camera stopped. And we even thought our first AC said, "This is done. This camera is dead. We're never gonna be able to shoot." And as I told you, I think it was a bit of a blast project because the morning after the first AC starts the camera, and camera flips around 3 times and it's like bling, ready to go. And and we had to, Dean, and this is a master, makes every obstacle really an opportunity. And he created this that then became a motive that, at the end of it, when she flips to another city, like the cut of it, it looks like close up. So although we weren't able to do it inside the water naked like we wanted to, we had to cheat a bit, but it was intense. The same thing happened in the yoga scene in Ibiza. We get there, it was covered with, they call it kiwis, but they are like little furry balls, and they were
Okay.
all around the beach. nothing romantic like we saw a few days before, but we're like, well, that's what we have and that's what we're gonna use. So, it's being an indie filmmaker. I think that's exactly what it is. Like you said, there are many obstacles that come your way, but if you freeze, you are screwed. If you take them as an opportunity and say, you know what, let's see if there's an advantage out of this, then some magic can really come out of it.
And how, because when I got to see this film in its fruition, uh how was it to being an independent film, besides the difficulties that you had in Ibiza and probably in the other locations? How you said that the film was made in a year. How do you guys got to make the film in fruition being an independent film? Because the film actually does feel like if a big studio would have acquired.
Right? Isn't that amazing? You don't feel that. Still to this day, when we look at it, I was like, wow, that's so beautiful. It doesn't feel crappy. It doesn't feel like low budget. Like it has that. And that I gotta give a shout out to Dean because even like he didn't even use a lot of lights because we couldn't.
Okay.
When you're an indie filmmaker, you gotta go.
Exactly.
Lights take
Yeah.
a lot of time to set up and all. So he has this incredible eye that he's able to turn stuff very quickly. They call him Dean and Dunn for a reason because he's very fast, in reading the room, reading what he has, how much time, and we go. But in that, I think also that's why we work very well together because also I'm not a slow actress either. So I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to be the first take to be the best one if that needs be, because you gotta move. As an indie filmmaker, there's no other way to do that. And I think that's why preparation is always the key if you don't have the money, because money buys you even more time. But if you have the preparation before, then when you're on set, every mistake is minimized and every obstacle can be incorporated.
What would be some advice that you would give to any indie filmmaker that's around trying to make their film, or having any type of fear that maybe they don't have the budget for it, but they do have something on the side to make it happen?
A couple of things. First off, I would say don't wait for anybody. Don't wait. Don't wait for the money. Don't wait for that thing. Don't wait for anything. We have, and I don't even say that like major directors say it. If you think about, even huge studio movies have been done now with these guys.
Yes.
So we have really, if you even sound now, you can have good sound. Like do as much as you can. Make mistakes, prep, do table reads. Don't stop. Don't make anybody stop you. And if we would have listened to people like, oh, a movie in four languages in four cities, we would have never done it. And then what's the point? If your passion is to tell a story and that story for you, it's very important, just do it. Absolutely 100%.
And I wanted to know because I've seen your credits at least in the IMDb website.
Hmm.
And what is next for yourself? You have Zoe, it's Zoe is there, but what is coming up next?
This is interesting because Dina and I, in the last few weeks especially, we've been talking a lot about it. I have manuscripts there. I used to write dramas a lot. That was my thing. And I also wrote a horror movie. And then I have a Christmas movie. And then I have another sort of like comedy movie. And the point is, when we started Zoe, we were coming out of COVID, and everything was like we needed light. I felt like we needed light personally, and I felt like the people around us, that's for us, the audience, right? The people needed like to lighten up.
Yeah.
And then it's not going better at all. The world is like a weird place more and
Yeah.
more. And when we moved to Italy, the war in Ukraine started. There are wars, there are protesters everywhere. In the US, we know what the situation is.
Hmm.
And like I feel movies, Dean and I, more and more, we're like, oh, maybe our path is like to create stories that can make escape people a little bit from reality. Going back to those movies, that
Yeah.
you're like, you know what? Life is this big chaos, but I can have that hour and a half, 2 hours where I'm like, I put that on pause. It's not gonna go away, but I can escape and dream 1 second. So I think we're more in tune with another fantastic comedy on
Okay.
those notes because it brings us so much joy to make. And then to even do the interviews, we always finish with a smile. And you're like, you know what? Maybe you know, that's a little bit better than, big movies are very important, but you stick with those movies for a long time before pre-production, production, post-production, and
Yeah.
then festivals. And then like it's 4 years at least of your life. So, you better choose also wisely. So I think that's another one that probably it's called Upstream that is gonna be our next one.
Okay. That's amazing. One thing that a couple of days ago, I was in an activity. One of my friends uh is about to, I think it's next month, she's about to have a baby. So we were in their baby shower. So I was in the table with other friends and we were talking about movies as well. And they were like, how about they went ahead and looked at me and how about you, John, what are your takes with like big budget films or studio films with or independent films? I'm like, nah, I prefer 100% independent films. That's something that I'm not gonna take away. Big budget films will always be there, they will always be there, but if you want to see like actual like movies with stories and like maybe some stories that you want to probably connects with you, independent films is the route to go. And when I got to finish Zoe, I was like, I was just thinking about exactly those same words that I said. I'm like, yes, this is what movies should be. Movie that you can sit down, enjoy, go back to it anytime you want to have a laugh or just put pause, like you mentioned. And going off of that, this would be my final question for you today. If you could describe Zoe with one word, what would it be?
Oh boy. I'm notoriously not good at this stuff, but I'll try my best. Brave.
Brave. I see it. Yeah, I see it. I see it. Yes, I
And
love
it's
that word.
buried. It's buried at the beginning, but I think even at the end, I don't know if she's brave or not, but she knows that she needs to be brave. We all need to be brave a little bit in life, which doesn't mean saving the world, right?
Hmm.
Brave in saying standing up for something or calling out someone or deciding to love in someone no matter what, just because you love that person and not because someone else tell you to love someone else. So even in the small things. So being brave, I think, yeah.
Yeah, brave is an amazing, great word for this film, Zoe. So, Emanuela, thank you very much for your time to talk about the film and all the things that happen in between. And I hope that we can get to sit down for any future projects that you have.
I would love to. Thank you so much, John.
No, no, thank you. Bye bye.